Alright, so I got the Rancher, or the Husqvarna Rancher 455 chainsaw here with a 20-inch bar, and I wanted to kind of talk about how to sharpen the chain on this thing. Now, through my own experience, it comes with this little Husqvarna, has their own little chain sharpening guide roller Dumafudgy. And I was using it for a while. The way it works is it sits on the chain and it kind of acts as a guide, and you roll to sharpen the blade. Then you turn the saw around and do the other side. And I kept finding that with using this, that I kept ending up, for some reason, I guess sharpening one side better or differently than the other side, and my saw kept wanting to cut towards the left on me all the time, and I'd have to take my chains in and get them professionally done and get them fixed. So what I started doing is I ditched that roller and I just started using just my file and just doing it by hand. You know, there's the little guide mark, the little angle mark here on the chain, so I would follow that angle, and I'm just going to stick in there, making sure that I'm holding it completely level. And I'm going to go through, and as I go through, I'm going to kind of turn it away from that tooth. And I'll usually do that 3 or 4 times until it's sharp. And then go down this side, all the way around. Get them all sharp, and then just pick my saw up, spin it around, and do the same thing on the other side. Now, when I don't have a camera in one hand, usually what I'm doing is using one hand to kind of hold the bar and tooth, or so at home I got a vise and I'll just stick it in the vise. But since I got my camera in one hand, I'm just kind of demonstrating how I do it. But I do this with 2 hands to keep the chain from moving around and stuff. But I found that since I started doing it that way, that my chain seems like it's taking a better edge, and that it's cutting a lot better, and I'm not having the problem of it cutting to one side anymore, and I'm not having to go in and pay $5 to have my chains professionally done anymore. I'm actually able to use them just about for the full extent of their life just by hand sharpening it. Occasionally, you know, I do get one that gets a little wacky on me, and I'll just go ahead and take it in and have the guys put it in the bench grinder and get it done right and get all my angles back. But for the most part, since I stopped using this little tool that Husqvarna provides, or that you can get, I'm getting a lot better edge on my saw. Now, maybe I'm not using this thing right, and if somebody that watches this video sees something that I did wrong with this, or has a better way of using it, because it doesn't come with very clear instructions, please make a video response and share with us how this thing is supposed to work. But it sure doesn't seem like it works worth a damn as far as I'm concerned. So I'm not using it anymore. I'm using just the file, doing it the old school method, get everything sharp. Another important thing to do with these bars is there's a little hole right here, and that is to grease this front sprocket. So make sure you get a chain. One of these sprocket little greaser Dumafudgys. This is the push and lube, and the tip just goes in, and you just give it a push, and it injects some grease in around that sprocket. And I do that every time I sharpen my chain. Usually I sharpen my chain, or at least touch it up after every couple of tanks of fuel. I'll get it touched up and go ahead and grease that sprocket, and everything seems to be running pretty smooth. I've been using this saw now for about 5 years, and other than a broken handle here, because I got pissed one day and I decided to chuck my saw across the woods, and since they make them out of plastic, I broke this handle and had to replace that. Other than that, I've had pretty good luck with this saw. It cuts really good. It's got plenty of power, and I just wanted to share with you about the chain, because that was the only problem I was having So if anybody else has this saw and you have the same problems I have, maybe try what I did. Hopefully that will work for you. So good luck and stay safe when you're out there cutting that wood.